on the overlay by turning on the checkbox at the bottom. Okay. Now, if I had auto mask turned off, I could freely paint, and when I do, this could just go way out here. And even if I stayed close to it, but just got a little overspray, it would go beyond. Choose undo. But with auto mask on, it looks at what's underneath the center of that brush. And as long as I never let the center of the brush touch the sky, it's going to try to prevent overspray to going beyond what looks different than what's underneath the center of my brush. It's based on both color and brightness though, so I got to be careful when I get into these dark parts of her head wrap because it might try to isolate them if I don't get the little center of my brush on that. So let's try it over here in this part of the head wrap. I don't know if that's what you really call these things you're putting around your head, but in that way I can do this without getting a bunch of overspray onto the background. If you need to do this precisely though, you'd need to zoom up more because I can see a little gap in there. I might need to get that center of my brush, like right now where there's a little crosshair, to just touch that little edge there to say, no, actually go into those shades, but not actually get it beyond. So anyway, auto mask can be overly helpful, especially when getting rid of overspray that went onto a background. Grab the option called erase, turn on auto mask, and then just make sure the center of your brush is on where you want either your paint or erasing to happen. And that can be very useful. Afterwards, you can turn off auto mask and refine things by hand anytime auto mask gets in your way. And then remember, flow is how much of the adjustment are you going to get on your first paint stroke. Then you can paint back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to build up the change. So if her face needed to be brightened more in one area, less in another, I would paint over one area one time and the other area back and forth 3 times to have it build up. I believe the density choice means what's the maximum I can get without releasing the mouse and applying more. So anyway, that's what we have. We have erasing to get rid of this. We have A and B for our brushing. That was just if you happen to want to use 2 different settings for your brush and switch quickly between them. Above that, we have all our adjustment sliders. There is a limited set, but it's quite a wide range in Lightroom 4. In previous versions, there were fewer choices there. Like you didn't have temperature and tint. And I really find this to be useful. One of the other choices in here is if you ever have fabric and you see an odd pattern within the fabric, it looks like it did not belong in the scene whatsoever, where it's almost like an undulating worm of a color or shape going throughout the fabric that just you don't see with your eyes. That's what's known as a moire pattern. Have you ever taken 2 screens, like the kind of screen that's on your maybe on your front door, screen door, and put them together and then put them at weird angles? They create this weird interference pattern. It's known as a moire pattern. If you ever see that, there's a choice in here now called moire, and you'd be able to paint across their fabric and reduce or eliminate that. I don't have a sample image I could find quick enough before this class to show you that one though. All right, there are also some things we can do with faces that I find to be useful. So let's grab another image, head into our develop module.
Ben, why do